What's going on? It's Coach Nkrumah, and this is how to start over for the last time. You know, over the past few years, I've been working on teaching people how to create an identity that creates lasting change. But I've always been like terrible with like breaking things down to where it's like short. Like I need a whole 10 minutes to explain everything. And I finally figured out exactly what it is that I'm doing, and I'm helping people start over for the last time. This is going to be the time where it sticks. This is going to be the time where everything changes. This is going to be the time where you do not have to start over again next year. This is going to be you starting over for the last time. And that's where we're just starting at this week with what's keeping you from why you keep starting over. So we're going to get into the science of this and everything, really explaining why it is that we continuously cross. I mean, why I keep want to say cross? I'm thinking about Allen Iverson. Why we continually start over, right? So, so the purpose of this episode is to help you finally understand why you keep starting over. Why every reset feels promising at first and then quietly it just falls all apart. And I know we all been there. And why you always seem to end up right back in the same place emotionally, mentally, situationally, financially, in your relationships. This is not a episode to try to motivate you. I'm not here to shame you. It's not here to hype you up and try to get you hyped for a fresh start. This episode is to give you language for something that you've dealt with for years, but you can never quite put your finger on it, right? That's what I'm saying. Like over these past years, I've been doing something. I've been helping people. I've been seeing results, but I didn't quite have the language of helping people start over for the last time. So this episode is helping you put language to it because once you got concrete language to something, that's one of the biggest ways to create change right there is the awareness and full understanding of something. So, if you ever ask yourself why change never sticks, this conversation is for you. It's meant to slow you down long enough to finally see what has been happening underneath all those restarts, because that's what it's about. Like, we see the actions, we see the results, and a lot of times we recognize the feeling, but we never even uncover the thought behind the feeling. Like, what was I thinking that made me feel that way? So we gotta always go up underneath to really make the lasting change because that's where the patterns and the loops, the behaviors, the beliefs, the ideologies, the self-image, that's where all of those things are hidden underneath. Excuse me. And we often try to outwork identity. We try to bring new habits onto an old identity. Like you can't do that. In the Bible, Jesus says you can't put new wine in the old skins, or else the skins will explode and the wine will run out. You have to create a new sustainable identity and change those parts of your identity, or you'll never be able to make that lasting change. So the core message of what we want to talk about tonight, that's going to keep you from starting over because um, you're trying to change your life without changing what inside of you is creating it. Let me say that again. We're trying to help you start over and help you change your life by changing that which is inside of you that is creating the life that you're living. Something in you is constantly creating the life that you have. That's why every time you start, you do the same thing. A lot of times, what I say is, off people aren't always restarting. They're not starting over. They're just restarting the same cycle. So it's one thing when you start over totally fresh and totally new and everything is different. It's another thing to just restart that same cycle. And most of the time, that's what we're doing. We're just restarting that same old cycle. Every restart looks different on the surface, new habits, new goals, new promises, but underneath all of it, the same iOS, the same internal operating system is running, the same beliefs, the same emotional reactions, the same survival patterns, the same you, but you think you're different because you told yourself that you're starting over. But did your body hear you? Did your nervous system hear you? Did your sympathetic nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, did 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 your amygdala hear you? Did your autonomic nervous system hear you? It's all neuroscience stuff here. Did your reticular activating system hear you? You say you're new, but everything in your body is the same thing. And as long as you are still that same person, just covering yourself up with a new routine and trying to develop some new habits if you do it for 21 days, but you'll end up repeating the same old cycle. So we're going to talk about 5 things that are causing you to keep starting over. So what's the theme tonight? Why you keep starting over. And tonight is not going to be a lot of teaching on how to fix it because a lot of times we want to jump right to, all right, what do I need to do? Well, the first thing you need to do is fully understand your whys. Because if you don't understand your whys, the whats don't mean anything. You're going to keep trying to change this outside, but you're not changing what's inside of you that's creating these outside factors. So tonight we're going to bring that awareness to get you to see why you keep being on that loop. So, number one, your brain, our brains, reward the decision to change more than the working of change. Your brain rewards the decision to change more than the working of change. So when you decide to start over, your brain releases dopamine. But dopamine is not the chemical of success, it's the chemical of anticipation. So it fires when your brain believes something better is coming. That's why deciding to change feels energizing, hopeful, and relieving. It's like, yeah, January every year, right? This is gonna be my year, and you're not lying to yourself. Like you really believe it, and when you do it, your brain is like, yeah, I reward you. I'm gonna release that dopamine to get you excited about something that's coming. The problem is that dopamine does not care about follow through. The problem is dopamine does not care about follow through. It spikes at the decision, not at the discipline. So once the novelty of it all wears off and the work becomes repetitive and uncomfortable, the dopamine drops. Without another reward system in place, your motivation collapses. So you get real excited in the beginning. This is gonna be my year. Everything's gonna be different. I'm going to the gym. You go to the gym, you get on that treadmill, you get out of breath, you get on that stairmaster, your legs hurting, you get up under them weights, and then the next day your body's sore, and you like all that motivation gone. You start trying to put your business plan together, and you start seeing how tedious it is and how much work you got to do, and the dopamine is drained. So then what do? I'm gonna start Monday. that you keep saying Monday because every time you say Monday, you start feeling good again. Like, all right, I got this goal, something good is coming, and you get another. Once you set that Monday goal, you get another dose of dopamine, and then you like, whoa, yeah, I feel good. Monday gonna be it again, but then Monday comes and the dopamine wears off when the work stops. So what you do next Monday? See, that's the cycle. This is why you keep starting over because you're being rewarded by the dopamine that's released when you're thinking about something coming in the future. So why does this cause the restarting? It's because you keep chasing the emotional reward of deciding again instead of building the capacity to stay consistent after the feeling fades. So restarting becomes the fastest way to feel hopeful because the work becomes too much. So we get our reward from putting it in the future. We get our reward from, I'm talking to my sister a lot about this, right? we we've been talking about getting back in shape and this and that, and I ordered a weight vest and I ordered this and she ordered that, and we feeling good because we ordered something. We ain't did no workout yet, but it's like I'm gonna feel good because I just ordered some. So yeah, we getting ready to do it. As soon as the next thing come, I'm gonna go on Amazon again and get me something else. As soon as that next thing coming, as soon as that next thing comes, because we put it in the future, we get that dopamine, and the cycle goes over and over. So we have to create a new reward system. You need to reward yourself with the after the work. Little wins, like reward yourself after going to the gym one day. Reward yourself after 2 hours of working on your business plan. Reward yourself after you actually do something. But you can't continuously have your body feeling and releasing the dopamine and feeling the high when you put something in the future, because that's what happens, and that's how the cycle keeps going over and over. All right, I'm gonna start it next week. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all my biggest listen. My biggest problem, right, when I'm trying to lose weight is, all right, I set the date that I'm gonna start, and then I go on here and gain 5 pounds before that, because I'm gonna say I might as well eat as much as I can right now. I might as well eat as much as I can right now, since I'm gonna start my diet on Monday. But Monday never comes, because you gotta understand, right? What you speak to yourself and what you speak about yourself. But right now, what you speak to yourself is what your brain and your body grabs a hold to. So Monday is there is no set Monday. Monday is something that comes every week, and it's something that's always coming. So every time you say Monday, your body is conditioned to put whatever it is constantly in the future, as opposed to saying, you know what, I'm starting today. For some reason, we don't ever want to start today. It's always another day. Tuesday, when it's all next week, next month, next year. It's we always put it in the future. And when you speak that to yourself, you put yourself right on that hamster wheel, because your mind and your body says future, not now. So there's never a now, and you never get to the future, because it just goes to the next Monday, because what's being programmed in your body is we're not doing it now. So now never comes. And so you stay on the loop. Hope this is making sense to y'all. The second reason you keep starting over is because your nervous system is wired for familiar stress, not long-term stability. Now, this right here is so deep, because most of us don't. I just learned about the nervous system in detail not too long ago, year or two ago, 2 years ago. Um, I didn't know why I was feeling a way, maybe a little longer than 2 years ago, when I read do I got it here? No, that's not it. When I read The Body Keeps the Score. So I don't know what year that was. Well, that's neither here nor there. But in The Body Keeps the Score, it's literally what the title says. It's like your body knows or your body feels and remembers before your brain do. So I have been wrestling right now. It took me a while to get started this year, because I was supposed to start the first week of the year. January is very hard for me. Every year I would get sad around New Year's and in January, and I just for years I just was like I hate New Year's. Like I didn't know why. I didn't know why. And then when I read the body keeps a score, they begin to talk about how your body remembers death dates, birth dates, and how you felt in certain times, even when your mind doesn't remember or your mind is not thinking about it. And the book is asking you, like, all right, if you feel a certain way, um, always around a certain time of year, think about what happened that time of year. And I said, oh my God, I lost my father in January. So my body, year after year, just kept saying, hey, it's time to be sad. It's time to be sad. Now, the first couple of years, I probably remember the first 5 or 6 years, I probably remember, yeah, this is the month my dad died. But once I stopped thinking about it, I still kept feeling it. So, number two, while you keep starting over, your nervous system is wired for familiar stress and not long term stability. So, from a neuroscience standpoint, your nervous system prioritizes predictability and over improvement. So, the amygdala and related threat detection systems are constantly asking one question: is this familiar? So if your body begin to learn safety in chaos, instability, or pressure, calm and consistency can register as unfamiliar. Now, unfamiliar often gets interpreted by the body and the brain as unsafe, even if it's some kind of positive change. So, this activates subtle stress responses like restlessness, anxiety, procrastination, or self doubt. I tell you, something that happened to me. My nervous system has definitely learned to feel safety in chaos because my life has been it's been a lot of chaos that I've been through in life. So just sometimes joy can make me like feel like I'm going into a panic attack. Just last summer, I love the beach. So for whatever reason is there, I don't know. I'm on my way to the beach and I'm just not feeling it. I'm just feeling terrible. And I'm like, what's going, why am I feeling this way? But I'm always aware of what's going on from everything that I've learned. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's supposed to be a happy day. I'm going to go do something I want to do, but my body, because prior to that, I was dealing with some things that were very hard. So since my nervous system was still wired, trying to protect me from what I was going through previously, the joy is not what my body knows. Happiness was not what my body knew. And so when I started to feel this happiness and this joy about going away, my body said, no, 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 no. What's this new thing? What's this new thing? The nervous system is this familiar. This because this boy ain't, but you ain't been happy in a while. You haven't been joyful in a while. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this feeling is. And this is the crazy thing about your nervous system and your amygdala and all of your protective stuff that's in your brain and in your body, your entire nervous system. When you start to feel unfamiliar feelings, even if it's joy, happiness, peace, calm, your body says, we're not used to this. We need to disrupt this feeling. So we need to make our body, make our person. I don't know how to actually word this, like your nervous system talking to you, but your nervous system is saying, no, we have to stop whatever's going on that's causing him to feel this way. So we're going to create anxiety. So we're going to create stress. We're going to create a feeling in the pit of your stomach, or in the pit of your stomach, or in your solar plexus right here. Your body literally begins to fight you when you're trying to do something new. So when you're trying to start over and become this new person, your entire body is like, nah, who is this person? So your nervous system has been in fight or flight for so long that it does not know peace. And when you try to start over, it's literally going to make you feel bad so that you stop doing what you're doing. I know this sounds crazy, but this is literally what your body is doing. This is what your brain and your physiology is doing to try to keep you safe. Because your brain's job, we think our brain's job is to think. No, your brain's job is to keep you alive and to keep you safe. So whatever it thinks, you know how like you might have a big dream and you might tell your parents or somebody else, and they'll try to like pull you down, but they're not really against you being better. They just don't want you to be disappointed. So they try to say, oh, maybe you should shoot for something a little lower. It's not that they don't want to see you in that position. They don't want to see you give your all and then you're hurt, and then they have to console you in your time of pain. And so even though they love you, they're trying to pull you back from being the best version of yourself as a safety precaution. And that's what's going on in your body when you try to become your best self. Your worst enemy is going to be your own body. And your nervous system is going to say, I am not going to allow you to walk into this unsafe, unfamiliar territory. I am going to do everything in your body to disrupt this, to make you feel nauseous, to make you feel sick to your stomach, to make you feel like you're going to throw up, to send you into anxiety attacks. I'm going to do everything I can to try to make you stop. But it's up to us to keep pushing until our nervous system recognizes that the new version of us or the new version of the life that we're living is safe. Number 3, identity predicts behavior more than intention ever will. A lot of times we we think everything is about willpower. I just got to have more willpower. I just got to have more discipline. Nah, it's that your identity is what's creating the behavior, because what your mind and body believe you are is what you're going to do in life. You can never live above the self-image that your body believes, because whenever you try or think about doing something that's above that, your self-image says, I don't see myself like that. That's not me. We got to come back. We got to come back down to earth. So your prefrontal cortex, that's up here, it handles planning and intention, but your identity lives deeper in networks shaped by repetition, emotion, and memory. When identity and intention are in conflict, guess who wins? Your identity. If you see yourself as someone who always falls off, can't stay consistent, or eventually messes things up, your brain is going to unconsciously steer your behavior to match the belief of the self image. So, I don't know if I've told this story before on live, but I tell the story often, and I always preface it with, I don't get high, because what I'm getting ready to say sounds very high. So one day I'm walking down the street. I can't remember where I was going, but that's irrelevant. And as I'm walking, I start to think, what is controlling my legs? So I stop. I'm like, 'cause I've been walking all these blocks and I have not said left leg move, right leg move, left leg move, right leg move. And so I'm standing there and I move my left leg, I move my right leg. I said, I can control my legs when I want, but once I start walking, I'm not telling my legs to move, but they keep moving. And it just messed me up. And I didn't get an answer about that for years later, because this happened when I was in my early 20s, 44 years old now. What I learned is your autonomic nervous system controls all of your involuntary movements. So, like, you can control blinking, but when you stop controlling it, your eyes will blink on their own. You can hold your breath, breathe in, breathe out, but when you stop, you're going to breathe on your own, controls the autonomic nervous system controls your heartbeat. It can regulate your blood pressure. It regulates everything that's going on in your body subconsciously. But it also controls what you do in life. So how it works with your legs is once you give your legs, once you give your brain the goal, I want to walk here. Your autonomic nervous system takes the the goal and it literally just moves your body. Like you never think, put your arms on the chair, push up, move to the right, walk around the table. You don't think that your autonomic nervous system literally takes your body and you go on autopilot. So whatever identity is programmed into into your autonomic nervous system, it literally just takes your body and leads you to those places. So you wonder where you get your urges from. Your urges is from what your self-image is and what it believes that you want. So you want junk food or you might smoke cigarettes. Why do you get the urges? I never get an urge to smoke cigarettes because that's not my self-image. I might get an urge to drink because I do drink, but I don't get a I don't get an urge to smoke cigarettes. There are things I will never have the urge to do because it's not a part of my self-image, it's not a part of my identity. But the things that are a part of my identity are the things I'm always going to have the urge to get up to do. And they're going to be the things that I actually do. So your identity is going to predict your behavior way more than your intention. I don't care how intentional you try to be, you have to work on the identity. And we'll deal with that at a later time on how to work on that identity. Um, Number four, stress shuts down the part of your brain you use to change. Listen, stress mess you up, boy. Stress causes ulcers. It's all kinds of stuff going on in your body. When stress increases, your cortisol rises. Now, elevated cortisol reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex. Again, that's your thinking brain up here. So this is your amygdala. Remember where Chris Tucker said medulla oblongata. You know, that's back there to see your emotions. But up here is your prefrontal cortex. This is where your logic, your reasoning, your rationale, your intentions, all of that stuff is at. So the elevated cortisol reduces the activity in your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's obviously responsible, like I'm saying. So if the part of your brain that's responsible for logic, for rationale, for creativity, it's now being blocked because your cortisol levels are high. So I know many of you probably have been engaging in something creative, but then life start kicking your ass, bills start coming, and now you don't feel so creative no more. That's not laziness. That's science. That's science. Once those cortisol levels raise up, all your creativity starts to get blurry. That's neuroscience. But at the same time, right, that it's messing with your prefrontal cortex, it strengthens the habit-based circuits that are in your basal ganglia. So the part of your brain that just stays in on the routine, it elevates that. So whatever you are normally doing, you just do that again. You just do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So we just talked about the identity, right? The identity, the self image is going to predict the behaviors. But then when you're dealing with a lot of stress, the stress starts to really mess with the chemical balance in your body, starts to mess with your brain, but it enhances the part of your brain that just says, we're going to go on autopilot and keep doing what we've always been doing. So you think it's a willpower problem. It's not a willpower problem. You think it's a discipline problem. It's not a discipline problem. This is a brain problem. I don't say that to say like your brain is messed up. This is normal. This is stuff that many people deal with. We just have to find ways to reduce our stress. Number 5, Starting over temporarily removes accountability and restores hope. So this is like coming full circle from the first one. Psychologically, starting over feels clean because there's no evidence. Yeah, it's like New Year. It's no missed days, no broken promises, no data that challenges your belief in yourself. And this creates a sense of psychological safety because you can feel you will feel good every what's that? I can't even think of the day before Monday. You feel good every Sunday thinking about that Monday, even if you ain't even gonna do nothing that Monday. But that Sunday you feel good. That Saturday you feel good because Monday I'm a ooh, that Friday you feel good because Monday I'm a even if you ain't gonna do it. On the flip side of it, staying consistent forces you to confront discomfort, to confront boredom, doubt, delayed gratification. That one thing we really don't want, right? It also exposes whether change is real or not. So for many people, that exposure feels feels more threatening than restarting. So the exposure of is this change real feels threatening, more threatening than saying I'm a restart. So if I go Monday and Tuesday, just like I gotta go Wednesday and Thursday. My mom said when I was in kindergarten, I went to school the first day. The next day, she woke me up for school, and I'm like, what you doing?" She's like, "You gotta go to school," and I was like, "Oh, I already did that. I did that yesterday." ah, I didn't know I had to keep doing it every day for like 8 months, and then I had to do it for years. That's how I did that yesterday. And that's how we get that Monday, that Tuesday, that Wednesday. Then it's like, yo, I really got to keep doing this. I ain't even lost a pound yet. In fact, if it seemed like I gained weight, it this not I ain't making no money fast enough. I ain't got no sales yet. I'm that feels threatening. But saying Monday feels good. Saying Monday feels good. It removes all your accountability. That's why I eat. That's why I eat after I say Monday. I'm gonna go on my diet Monday. I don't have no responsibility or accountability right now. I'm gonna eat all week. I might go to a buffet. But Monday, mm, this is why we keep starting over. So what you need to understand is you don't keep starting over because you're weak. You don't keep starting over because you're lazy or undisciplined. You keep starting over because your brain and your nervous system are doing exactly what they were trained to do. And until you change how you reward yourself, how that's created, until you change how your nervous system what your nervous system considers safe, until you change the identity driving your behavior, and until you change how you respond under stress, you will always keep repeating the same cycles with different packaging. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to this first episode of Start How to Start Over for Real. So listen, which way am I going? Brand new book. Where's my hand? Where's the book at? Got a brand new book out called Killing Yesterday. If you want to learn really how to create that new identity, how to get rid of that old you, Killing Yesterday is going to be the book for you. Won't you stop by coachnkrumah.com and pick you up a copy, or stop by killingyesterday.com and pick up a copy. That book, it's in three parts. So the first part is Killing Yesterday, so how to get rid of that old identity. The second part is creating a new day. So that's creating the actual idea of the life that you want to live and creating what the best day ever looks like. And then the third part is creating a new you. That is putting in that new iOS, that new internal operating system, and creating that new identity that is definitely going to help you to sustain that change. So I thank y'all for tuning in. I hope this has been good for everybody who's been watching, and just continue to follow. And I'll be back for more. I don't even know how to end it, but I'm definitely going to be back, and I'll probably be back tomorrow night, and we can talk about some stuff. So I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Continue to follow the journey.